And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome, everyone, to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. And looking at the weather-related headlines here across the state of Alaska, the most notable feature still is this persistent low-pressure circulation that's over the North Pacific and Gulf. It's the primary area by which a lot of active weather has been generated across southern Alaska into the Panhandle. We have another area of low pressure up around the Chukchi Sea in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and there's some cold air up there. But for areas along the Gulf Coast, including the Kenai Peninsula, Prince William Sound, and into the Panhandle, there's been periods of coastal rain and mountain snows and even some snow in the colder air on the backside of the low. And that's going to continue on and off, not just the rest of this week, but through the upcoming weekend, because there's going to be another push of cold air dropping southward across the Bering Sea later Thursday night through the day on Friday. And that's going to wrap in around a larger low that develops in the vicinity of the Alaska Peninsula for this weekend. And whenever you get a low there over southwest, it tends to pull more moisture and another front up into the Gulf, which will have impacts across the Gulf Coast into the Panhandle during the course of the weekend. Quick check of some of the FAA webcams up there at Kotzebue. Sunny and cold, 2 below zero is the temperature as of mid-afternoon despite the strong April sunshine. This morning, NOAA got down to 21 below zero for the state's coldest temperature. And Homer has been picking up wet snow, some fog, 34 degrees. There is a winter weather advisory in effect for that area of the Kenai Peninsula, where snow totals could be as high as 5 to locally 10 inches through early Wednesday afternoon. Now, that's going to include what has already fallen throughout the day this Tuesday. Copper River Basin, Gulkana, overcast skies, 46 degrees, a little pocket of warmer air there. And then Sitka had some breaks in the cloud, partly sunny at times, some scattered rain showers, 46 degrees, and there's been a push, a trough that's worked its way up in through the Panhandle that had brought at least enhancement to the rain or rain showers and snow showers last night and into this morning. But right now, the only advisories, watches, warnings, special weather statements that are in effect, we have the winter weather advisory through 1 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. For this southwest portion of the Kenai Peninsula, it is possible that snow could spread further north. It's impacted areas around Homer, Ninilchik, Anchor Point, but it's possible some of that accumulating snow will likely spread up into the areas around Kenai, Nakiski, could pick up perhaps at least a few, if not several inches of snow through early Wednesday afternoon. And then the area on the west side of Prince William Sound and in through Turnagain Pass, we are finding the snow changing to rain with gusty easterly winds will persist as we go into tonight. And then this area up along the Klondike Highway toward White Pass, there's going to be some accumulating snow. At this point, it doesn't look like enough to reach advisory or warning criteria, but just a heads up, if you're driving that way, could encounter some slippery roads as a result of that. Avalanche danger has not really changed. It's the same as it was yesterday for today. We still have a considerable threat there in the eastern Kenai, especially there around Turnagain Pass and down at Moose Pass, and that will continue as we have the areas of rain and snow that are falling across that region. So on the satellite imagery, we have one clear low circulation here. There's another one down south of Kodiak Island. This one's pulling back to the west. The colder air that's down here along the west side of the Kenai Peninsula is what's allowing for the accumulating snow there, and that'll continue tonight into at least Wednesday morning. We've had one trough rotate up through the Panhandle today, so you may have noticed that enhancement to the showers that occurred last night and this morning. Start to let up a bit across the south, though there'll still be some lingering showers. This feature is what's left of that low pressure and snow showers that came across the Alaska Peninsula early this morning, and now is pushing out into the North Pacific. And generally a northwest flow here coming down across the Bering. There is going to be yet another little low that'll be dropping southeastward for tomorrow on Wednesday, and yet another batch of cold air that's sitting up here. There's another circulating low up here in cold air that's going to come down and dive southward across the Bering Sea Friday. That's going to help spin up that broad area of low pressure for the weekend. So overall, this area right now, we have this mid-level low circulating. There's going to be a new kind of a repositioning and reshaping of that for this weekend as that colder air comes in down across the Bering and the Aleutians into the North Pacific. So tonight, here we have low pressure pulling back north and west across the Kenai Peninsula, accumulating snow there along the west side, winter weather advisory in effect for there. Lingering trough along the northeastern Gulf Coast into the Panhandle. There will be another piece of energy coming northward as we get into the day on Wednesday. And still some scattered showers, again, along the coast and into the Panhandle, but then another area of low pressure is going to be pivoting back to the north and west as this is the anchor point of that. There's another little low heading southeastward across the Alaska Peninsula. It'll bring some additional snow and rain showers mixed there as we go through the day Wednesday. And then here's the hint of the next system dropping southeastward. Behind this one, there is going to be a notable push of colder air heading toward the Aleutians by Friday and for the early weekend. So here we have it. Back here across the Panhandle, you're going to see another round of showers enhanced for Thursday afternoon, especially the southern portion of the Panhandle. And that'll be rotating back toward the north and west for Thursday afternoon and evening, and continuing into Thursday night. That anchor point low that's sitting here in the western Gulf will just kind of sit there. Areas of the Kenai, up in any of the mountains, the Chugach, the Kenai Mountains, including Anchorage Bowl, could see some periods of additional snowfall through Thursday morning as a result of that feature. And then on Friday, here we finally see the more notable push, kind of a double barrel low with a couple areas emphasizing leading edge of the cold air pushing into the Aleutians, but colder air even more so west of St. Matthew, and all this is heading south. Meanwhile, we have another area of low pressure too in the North Pacific. And what's going to happen is all of this is going to kind of combine together in one broader circulation. The one anchor low that's been sitting out here all week long is going to kind of reestablish itself, and so we're going to have this broader low take shape for the weekend, which means on the cold side, there's going to be wind and snow showers across the Aleutians, some snow certainly in areas of the southwest, and then you have another front come up into the Gulf with rain and snow. And again, mountainous areas picking up the snow, and we're going to find that spreading into the Panhandle later in the weekend, probably by around Sunday. So we're not quite there yet to show you, but that's the general trend of things to come. We're not really looking at any appreciable warming. The weather is going to remain active across the southern half of the state from the Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula around Kuskokwim, Bristol Bay eastward, especially from the Alaska Range southward into the Panhandle. And temperature-wise, it's been cold. I said this morning, the state's low temperature was at NOAA at 21 below for Tuesday morning. Come Wednesday morning, there's still going to be some areas down around 15 to 20 below, but just generally speaking for the forecast sites here, we're looking at least 10, 13 below, say Point Lay and around Kotzebue, and some of that cold air even getting a little further south toward the middle Yukon. And then along the Alcan border areas of South Central, we're getting temperatures below freezing, and the areas that have picked up some precipitation, it's going to be icy because temperatures that at least in the daytime are hovering around or a couple degrees above freezing will slip back below at night. And across the Panhandle, generally lows will remain just above freezing by a few degrees, especially their outer coast areas. And then temperatures Wednesday afternoon could see 54 there at Kalawak or Craig. Then as we look across areas of the Alcan border, mid-40s at Northway and up toward Eagle, single-digit highs just above zero along the northwest Arctic coast, especially along the Chukchi Sea to the north side of the Seward Peninsula and Bering Strait. Temperatures with general cloud covering some areas of precipitation will only be in the mid-30s or so for highs in south central, and then again, low temperatures at night Thursday morning, cold. Out here, Shishmaref, Kotzebue, NOAA could again see lows in that 8 to 16 below range. And that's this area is going to kind of pull back to the west a little bit and then begin to dive southward on Friday. And we find readings near 40 for lows at Craig and Ketchikan, but it's still below freezing at night and in the morning here across South Central. So watch out for those icy spots, places that have picked up measurable snowfall. Thursday afternoon high should still be low mid 40s along the Alcan border, 40s to around 50, especially southern panhandle. And then back to the west, single digit highs only above zero, around 5, 7 above, from places like Wainwright down to Point Hope and through Wales and Teller. Temperature maybe get back up near freezing, 32 Pribilovs at St. Paul. And notice here along the Aleutians, their temperature is getting back up upper 30s to near 40, but there's going to be that another batch of cold air dropping southward across the Bering Sea Friday into early Saturday. And the extended temperature outlook stays the same here around and just past mid-month, centered on April 16th. So this is from April 14th through the 18th. Going to have some sort of low circulation like this, whereby warmer air, southeasterly flows like this, and then we have the colder northwesterly flow on the backside. That's going to keep the west side of the state below normal here through mid-month, including the YK deltas, Bristol Bay, Kuskokwim Bay, down through the eastern Aleutians and the Alaska Peninsula. Maybe temperatures getting a bit above normal here along the eastern Arctic coast, Kaktovik down through Arctic Village. And then precipitation-wise, again, an indication of that low pressure just persisting in this region and pulling moisture back toward the north. The most likely areas to experience above normal precipitation for what is normally our driest time of year will include much of the southern, southeastern mainland, extending all the way northward across the Alaska Range through Fairbanks and on up toward Anatuvik Passes up into the North Slope, Central North Slope, and then also down along areas of the Panhandle. So really not a whole lot of change to this pattern all the way through and just past mid-month.